The Insurance Apprentice 2022 Season 8 has one episode left, which means that next week this time, we will know who the winner is. But before we get to that, let's have a chat with the two people who got dismissed in the second last episode, the March episode. Every week, for the last 3 weeks, I spoke to the two contestants who were dismissed in the previous episode. This week, after what was most probably the most dramatic episode of the season so far, I'm talking to Lerato, Thathe and Wayne Moorcroft about their exit during episode 8, which was obviously then March episode. Welcome to both of you. First of all, I think let's get the introductions going. So Lerato, will you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Lerato Thathe. I sit at Aon South Africa. I've been with Aon South Africa for 4 years, starting my graduate program here, and currently I'm a client manager in the professional risks section.
Wayne.
Hi guys, I'm Wayne Moorcroft. I've been with Amicus Insurance Enterprises for the last 16 years. I'm basically an operations manager from claims to administration services. And we are also a broker that provides umbrella and admin services on behalf of other brokers.
Okay, great. Quick question, Lerato, why did you enter the Insurance Apprentice?
I entered the Insurance Apprentice to give myself a challenge. I think it was more just, wanting to be part of this big and exciting event, and for me the Insurance Apprentice gives you opportunity. It allows you to network. I think more than anything it's allowed me to meet people like Wayne, like the other contestants, where you would have never in a normal setting probably met them with the other stuff that we haven't been able to attend since COVID. So it's been really nice to join the Apprentice and meet new people.
Wayne, why did you enter?
For me, it was about the competitive side of it. I love competition and I am very competitive in nature. I joined because I wanted to win. I wanted to test myself against the best, and I wanted to be the best. That's full honesty. In the interim, there were other opportunities that presented itself, which was surprising to me, aspects that I didn't see. But yeah, I entered to be the Insurance Apprentice.
And you were close. You were close. Both of you have experienced most of the tasks. Your views on the relevancy and the difficulty of this year's tasks. Maybe we could start with you, Lerato.
I really enjoyed the tasks. I mean, getting them every day was quite, every week was quite challenging. It's a shock to the system and you got your mind thinking. But I think it's what I enjoyed the most. I think we always knew what was coming with rapid risk, but the task was always one where, you had to be engaged, you had to be aware. And I think the tasks were relevant. For example, with Sazria, I mean, it's an ever-changing market, and I think they were very relevant. I enjoyed what I learned from the Holla task as well. So I feel like there were tasks that needed to be spoken about, there were tasks that were relevant for the time, and they were really, really exciting and challenging.
Which one was your favorite one?
My favorite, I didn't get to do the Marsh one. It stressed me out, but I think I liked the concept of learning more on ESG. So that was my favorite, even though I didn't get to share my opinion on it.
Okay, cool. Wayne, your views on the relevance and the difficulty of tasks this year?
The difficulty, it is quite difficult. I wouldn't say that it's impossible. I think in hindsight, when you relook at the episodes, you see things that was there that you could have done or could have said that's within your scope. So I'll say this, that it is very difficult. It is very time dependent, but relevancy for sure. I don't think there's anything more relevant than Sazria and business interruption at this stage. Obviously, the whole task was a tough one for me to get through, and I also took some shots there. But everything is relevant, even if it's just socially relevant. A lot of it is relevant. The Marsh task was by far the most difficult thing I've ever seen. Just content-wise, there were so many aspects to look at and so many things that you could find or could miss. But I think in hindsight, it was actually well designed, and I loved every bit of it. I liked all the tasks.
Did you have a favorite?
It's between two. My favorite was the auto and general one, the business interruption one, just because of the idea and the concept we created, and Lerato was part of that one. So I think we had some good teamwork and cohesion there, and we had a solid idea. So that one was my favorite, and I don't like business interruption, but I've been dealing with it for the last year. So that one I enjoyed the most.
Okay, cool. Lerato, you were voted off by Wayne, not by a judge or judges.
Yeah.
And your views on that process and how it made you feel.
Geesh, I think in my gut I knew I was at the bottom. It was definitely a spanner in the works. I hoped that the coin would have fell on the other side. I was gutted, I won't lie. I think we had such a great synergy and stuff like that, and I was really looking forward to, trying to at least, stay in a little bit longer. But it is what it is, and unfortunately it ended the way it did. Would we have wanted to be in the top 4? Of course, because I was really keen on finding out what the Discovery Challenge would have looked like.
Yeah. Okay. So no hard feelings, right?
No shame. Wayne and I, we had a chat about it, so we're good.
Okay, good. No, I knew you would have. Wayne, you and most people had no idea what was going to happen. Okay. You also did not have a long time to make a decision. In hindsight, if you knew, looking back, would you have made the same decision? And why or why not?
Yeah. So obviously, hindsight's 2020, eh? I wouldn't. So there's a few reasons why I wouldn't have made the same decision. The first one is if I had known it was Lerato, and that's not to look for any favor, then I wouldn't have made that call. I think going into that challenge with Lerato, she would have put us over the edge. I think we could have won it. I think we would have won it, having seen the episode now. So those are my regrets, obviously, and I regretted it instantly. The main problem for me was I didn't have time to ponder or to think this decision through, and there was just this inkling, this funny feeling on the inside of, I know what the right decision is here to make. I know what's the easy decision to make. This other decision is hard and tough, and I'll just for the life of me, I thought I've seen this episode before. You need to make hard and tough decisions in the insurance industry, and that's what I thought I did. And so if would I do it again, knowing the outcome? Yes, I would do it again. Not in the same way, or say, there's nothing I can do about it now. But I don't think I changed anything about the way I played the game. I stuck to my nature, and at that stage, it was a difficult decision, and I wasn't going to back down from the challenge or the decision. Obviously, it's not in my nature to just fire people, and I didn't expect it, but it just felt like the hard decision, and that's why I took the hard route. But yeah, I didn't. They told me during the episode or during the discussion that it was going to be one of us, Wayne, and I said no. I didn't understand that part. I thought I was going to keep at least. I thought that I was going to keep at least Lerato. I haven't worked with Molatello before then, but I thought I was going to at least keep Lerato, and maybe I would change it. Different day, different time, we have a different outcome, but it is what it is. And I am sad for putting the trigger on her specifically, but I think in all fairness, I did all the other contestants a huge favor. I think she was going all the way to the top.
You played a fantastic game, Wayne. With Rapid Risk, you actually shot the lights out. I mean, you had that first answer the whole time. It looked like you really understood what the task was going to be about, and you understood ESG. So when it was time to do the presentation, it was only two of you. Were you at that point fairly comfortable that you were going to do it? Or did you know that that was it?
No, I was never doubting myself there. I wasn't cocky or arrogant. I just felt that there were things that I saw within the content that I could deliver on. It was a bit of choose what I can, work on that, and then let the other things go by the wayside, which would have been better with three people. But in all fairness, I felt like when we presented, I also did most of the talking, so I also took most of the hits, and I had to jump between ESG and premium and insurance and this, and the content was really a lot. I don't think the people will understand how much time you get to go through those things, and it's figures and numbers, and they reach into the billions. And I was trying to work out premiums on my cell phone calculator. But there's no excuses. But was I confident that we could win it? Yes, I did give myself a fighting chance, and there's always a puncher's chance in any situation. And I think I looked after rewatching the episode, one or two things, and we could be there. We could have been there. So it was high risk, high reward. But yeah, I would say confident. I know it was a silly thing to take on with only two people. But I thought that, yeah, I had one or two things, and I was hoping or praying for the best, that maybe we see something the other team doesn't.
What did you learn about yourself, Wayne, during this whole experience?
I learned that at the end of the day, you're always going to stay true to your nature. And for me, that part, I was obviously very gutted when it ended in that way, you know. I thought personally that for taking the decision, making it, despite the consequences, that at least the decision deserved some respect. I mean, it was put before me, so I felt like I made a decision. I stuck to it, and in our line of work, you have to stand by what you say. You have to back yourself, and I did that. But I also understood one thing, and that is that I would have a tendency to take on things by myself instead of giving it to other people or trusting other people. And it's a bit of what you call it, a bureaucratic management or style. And I learned something there, that I'd rather take the fall. I'll take the blame. I'll take everything. I'll even take the work, and try and do it, as opposed to say spread it around. But I learned a lot. I learned that I still love people. The virtual format makes that part very tough. Yeah. I think in person we would have had a better experience, just synergy wise. But no, I learned a lot, and I learned that I can work in any environment. For me, I felt like an underdog coming into this competition. I come from a small town, from a brokerage. And everything's corporate, and everything is online, and it's the entertainment industry. That's the part I wasn't really prepared for, the being on camera bit, and also the show aspect of it. So that's something new. That's something new.
Yeah. Lerato, what did you learn about yourself?
I think I agree with Wayne that you actually, you can work with people, and in comparison to him, I work with a lot more people via the size of the company. But I just think it was nice to, meet people in a short space of time, and get the work done. And it was really nice to see that actually we can put ourselves aside and work with each other, engage with each other, and actually see how other people's brains work. It was nice to pull that out of us, thinking out the box and challenging each other, and seeing how, no matter where you come from, big, small, what demographic, whatever the case, you actually do think alike in some instances. And that's the synergy that Wayne and I had, where, he would just, reiterate something that I was already thinking, or vice versa. So it was nice to be so malleable in that kind of space, be very flexible with people. And I've seen that I'm actually stronger than I thought. I can take the knocks, and I can blossom, squished up in a corner and being forced to think. I can actually rise to the occasion. So, it's something I've always known. But I think when the platform is this big, you think, sink or swim, and I was happy to swim.
Quickly, you guys had a chat afterwards, and everyone knows it is a competition, but is there anything else you want to share with the audience on your whole, what happened between the two of you and how you exited? Anything from your side, Wayne?
Yeah, I think it being a competition, obviously you do think about yourself, and there is that self-serving interest during this part. And from my side, it was never about killing someone else's dream to become the insurance apprentice. That was not the intention. But when me and Lerato, we did have a few discussions about it. I did feel very sorry, just because of the individual, the person. This is something I would never do in real life. So, I mean, being given this platform. So we managed to have a chat, and I'm thankful for her approach to this, because obviously it was at my hand, although it wasn't my intention, but she took it well, and she also made me feel at ease that I'm not a terrible person.
Lerato, anything you want to say?
I think for me, I having the chat with Wayne was really nice, but I didn't blame him. I understood his thought process. Would I have done the same? I don't know. But I understood his thought process, and I think also I take my own responsibility. I mean, by that time in the show, we are exhausted, our brains are fried, and I took responsibility for the fact that, I mean, I was at the bottom of the leaderboard, whether it was sticky fingers or, just my brain just being overworked at that point. I just feel like, I mean, the whole time I was thinking about the presentation, and the questions were just messing up with the presentation in my mind. So a lot of people know behind the scenes, I was working on the presentation and fixing this and putting that together. So, doing too many things at once also got my fingers burnt. So I understand it. And I'm really okay with how everything went down. And yeah, let's see if we do it again, Wayne.
Yes, please do. Please do. Next is going to be an amazing experience, because it's going to be in person from the start to the end. It's going to be a whole different experience. So I would really love it if you guys would enter, because you've got what it takes. You went far and you've got it. You did great. So lastly, let's end. Lerato, why do you as a young person love this industry?
Oh, this industry for me, it's been the start of my career. I was an older graduate than some of the people that I've joined the graduate program with when I started at Aon, but I've seen the opportunity, I've seen the growth, the fact that you have so much support from an educational point of view. I mean, you could study and go very far. You could study your ears off for all. The industry is allowing of growth. The industry is allowing of you just reaching for the stars, and it's also a give and take. If you want something out of it, give something to it. So I think it's a beautiful industry to be part of. Platforms like The Apprentice also help, and they propel us forward, and they give us hope. And it's nice to see someone like me, winning the competition and seeing that it's possible. And sometimes we need that. We're in an environment and a country where we need to see people like ourselves up there to say, I can do it too. So I think it's really important to be part of something like this.
Wayne, why do you love this industry?
I think the thing I love the most is making a difference, making change. And as much as people love to hate insurance, they need it. It's one of the things at the forefront now. So everybody hated it, but it's one of the most written about things in the newspaper since COVID. So I like being your guy. So if someone says I need something sorted out, and he picks up the phone, he phones me, or he phones our office, and And I like that part. I like making a difference to people. I sort of feel like we are, as the insurance industry, we are very undervaluated in what we do. We have a massive area of expertise that you need to cover. And we don't, we also have massive restrictions to get into the insurance industry, but our advice is free. If you go to a lawyer or a doctor now, you have to pay. But if you want to ask something insurance related, it's free. But we have the same level of expertise, I believe. So I think we as an industry, we keep this country ticking, and we are very relevant everywhere.
Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. Go on and do your good work that you are doing, and let's see who's going to take the crown. See you soon.
Thank you.